Welcome back to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan.
Our next guest is Amy Gilchrist of House and Hound, Inc., recently featured on the Best of 425 magazine. A frenzy of house cleaning and pet care services is already in existence, but Amy Gilchrist of House and Hound in Woodinville decided to combine the two so busy pet owners could come home to a clean house and a happy pup. Jean, whose family bred Basenjis, I'm not familiar with that one, Basenjis, whose family bred Basenjis and who spent her youth showing dogs in the American Kennel Club circuit, decided to leave her career as a criminal lawyer and return to her roots working with dogs. Jean noticed a need in the market and decided to fill it with House and Hound, which currently serves the Eastside and Greater Seattle area with a 5-member team. Welcome to the show, Jean. Thanks for coming in.
And thank you. And just wanted to clarify, I do use my last name's Gilchrist, so my name is Amy Jean Gilchrist.
Yeah, it's funny because I copied this from the website, so I'm looking at this, I'm like,
what?
No. So it's Amy Gilchrist.
Yes.
Amy Gilchrist.
And my name Jean is my middle name, and after my father and my aunt and everyone else in my family. But
So it's like when you're in trouble, like Amy Jean?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And I put it on my cards as well because Gilchrist is just too long of a name and all that good stuff. So anyway, I know it can be confusing, but Amy Gilchrist, Amy Jean Gilchrist. And
all right.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
So thank you for having me, you guys. I appreciate it.
We're happy to have you.
Loads of fun.
So when you're not cleaning or playing with dogs, what do you do with your free time?
Free time. Woo! I enjoy it.
Oh, there you go.
Well, most of the time I am actually with dogs because I do enjoy them around me all the time. It really is truly a passion that I have. But when I'm completely not with dogs, because of course, unfortunately, we can't take them everywhere with us, which I wish we could.
I
Maybe
saw
in
your
the
text.
Near future
I saw your text before here. I was like, oh, whoops.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I do have a dog in the car right now.
Oh.
little Riley, he's having fun. But I really enjoy just being able to disconnect and take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't take care of yourself first, you can't take care of other people, and you can't take care of your clients.
Yeah.
So
True.
I love hiking in the Quinault rainforest, for example. There's beautiful trees out there.
Yeah.
They're huge, beautiful, and then I will
Lake
maybe-
Ozette, right?
Lake Quinault.
Quinault.
Yeah,
Ozette
but it's
is-
hard not to take a dog with you.
Yeah. Oh, you're not allowed to.
You are.
Oh.
Throughout those woods, you can.
You can't.
Absolutely.
Oh, of course, then.
And it's beautiful.
Actually, I think I took my first dog on a hike on the Pacific Coast Trail. So it starts there and goes all the way down. So it was like a 30-miler.
Oh, it's beautiful.
She had a blast.
Oh, it's great. It's wonderful. And so I love to do that. But I love hot yoga, and we can't have dogs in there. But I tend to do that a lot just throughout the week, just to kind of.
That's about taking care of yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
absolutely. And diving and skiing is one of my passions as well.
Scuba diving?
Scuba diving.
Nice.
No dogs down there, that's for sure. maybe some dogfish, but.
Oh,
you go.
funny.
So this is a show about homes.
Yes.
And we like to ask our guests to tell us about fond memory growing up. Where'd you grow up, and tell us about the house you grew up in?
Well, I actually am a Seattle native. So
Cool.
I have I'm going to say a couple houses because my grandfather lived in a house here, and he had everything from ferrets to parrots.
Wow.
And he brought in every stray cat and every stray dog from the neighborhood that you could find. We even had 2 lab rats. Slim and Mo were their names. I'll never forget them. So I've always been around animals. And so some of my fond memories are just being down in his basement with the huge pool table that he had. Back then they had the really cool ones, and with a bunch of animals around, and then just always being able to be around the, even my neighbor had 14 cats. Her name was Betty. Every day she'd say, okay, what are the cats' names? Oh, Betty, I don't know. I'm 4 years old. So just those memories with a lot of animals. And also in my own family home, we had a pool. So I loved swimming and just having my family around there.
Well, I think that one advantage, right, to homeownership is to have animals.
Right.
Correct.
If you're renting, that's a tough thing
one.
to do. Yeah.
You definitely can't have ferrets.
No.
Unless you're one of those people.
Yeah, I was just thinking about a ferret story from a house I listed that we were talking about. Dan and I were talking about home prep today. Yeah, about $5,000 of repairs from ferrets in the walls. That was
in the
fun.
walls?
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. So tell us, what does House and Hound do?
Well, we make sure your home and your dogs, your fur babies, are taken care of, primarily when you go on vacation. So when you're going to go off on, like, say, a week break, I like to come in and take care of your dog, make sure that they're fed, played with, cuddle time, and they're never by themselves. except for when I'm on radio shows. And then, and then also just having a nice, clean home when you come home. A lot of people are just ecstatic when they come home to a happy pup and a clean home.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I still do boarding as well, away from their home if that's what they want as well. So I'm very versatile. But you get the one-on-one care for your dog instead of putting them in kind of a doggy daycare boarding facility for a week, which is really difficult for dogs.
Yeah.
So
well, they're in there, and as John mentioned, they like normalcy, right? They like to, my dogs get up at a certain time, dinner's at a certain time. They like to have that
routine.
So coming into the pet owner's home helps keep that routine, keeps it like that. So what inspired you to get into this kind of a business?
So I was miserable practicing law. Surprise, surprise. How many lawyers are out there that are miserable? But it was just, I can feel ears burning around the globe. But I hated it. My mom got sick with ovarian cancer, and it didn't take long to take her, about a year and a half. And we were always in the dog community, American Kennel Club, the Evergreen Basenjis Club. We had raised Basenjis, and we had just a very tight knit group full of the breeding community around us. And I showed dogs. I know a lot about the different dog breeds and how they are. And I just said to my mom, I will continue to be around dogs, and that's the way I'm going to remember you.
Wow.
And our dog was on the bed with her when she died. And and she knew it. The dog knew what was going on. It wouldn't even leave her side. And so they are really part of our family.
It's kind of your mom's legacy.
My mom's legacy. And
That's
she
awesome.
would be so proud of me right now because I've done so
awesome.
much with this, and I'm actually happy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And that's what we need in life, is to be happy. That we're here to create joy. We're here to create happiness in our lives. That's what we're here to create in this lifetime. We're not here to do something that makes us unhappy.
Definitely.
I was just thinking about my comment earlier about how smart they are, and your comment about the dog and your mom. I read a story recently a veterinarian wrote about, when it's time to have a dog put down, and that what she wrote was how their humans should stay with them, that they always look around the room for their humans, and they know what's going on. And she was just like, encouraging people, stay, even though it's hard, stay with them. And, I can see that in that, how very smart, how very connected they are. So anyway, it just made me think of that when you mentioned the other side of that equation.
Yeah, it's an awesome, I think it's a great opportunity, right, to have them in our lives, to bring balance to, after a long, busy day, somebody popping up in your lap or, coming alongside you that just basically has nothing except for food. I mean, that's really the only thing that really...
Yeah, I like getting home and having this dog, 7-year-old dog, just bouncing in the driveway.
Yeah.
He sees me and just lights up. It's just amazing.
Well, there are more dogs than kids in Seattle.
Really?
Is that right?
Yes.
Interesting.
Whoa.
And so they really are a huge part of the family.
Definitely.
And so you want to come home to a happy, healthy dog after a vacation, for
Right.
example.
Definitely.
So how do your services work?
So we also do a subscription service for housekeeping, like a monthly subscription service that also includes us dropping in and playing with your dog as well. So if you're a career person and you're going to be gone for a while, a lot of people are gone for 8 to 10 hours a day. They like someone to come in and drop in and say, hey, what's up for an hour and a half? Take them on a walk, give them playtime cuddle, maybe do a feeding. And also we offer dog walking subscription service. Within that subscription, and also the dog boarding and the house sitting. So the dog boarding and the house sitting are kind of two different things, because I offer boarding at my place, and then I can go to your house and sit, or and then also the subscription for the housekeeping.
Yeah.
So why is it that you found that pet owners have valued the services that you've offered?
Well, it creates just that nice home feel for the dog. It's not the dog's not stressed out. Wondering what's going on, with 50 other dogs that all of a sudden they're playing with for a week when their, baby fur parents are on vacation. And then their dog just kind of goes home and they're shaking and they're nervous and they don't understand what's going on. I've seen that a lot.
Huh.
So we like to minimize that. And like, our dog trainers say, they like to have, just things that are more,
consistent.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Consistent. I like consistency, especially puppies.
Yeah.
You don't want a puppy in a doggy daycare for a month or 2 weeks or something like that.
Right.
What's the biggest challenge you faced in your business?
What kind of breed do I like the best?
Oh, that's your biggest
And
challenge.
second challenge is giving the dog back when they get home.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, honey.
Because they're so. I had oh my goodness, I sat a golden retriever puppy for 2 months.
Oh,
Yeah, their owners went to New York for
adorable.
work,
It's
and
your dog.
they kept on extending because they couldn't come back. And I swear that dog, oh my gosh, it was so hard.
yeah, I
I'll
can
bet.
only imagine. You guys have like formed a relationship in
We
2
did,
months.
I
Oh my
know.
gosh. So talk about breeds. I mean, you accept any and all breeds. You're
Yes.
welcome to do that.
Of course.
But you do have some favorites.
We got to ask, favorite breed?
Oh, I love Great Danes.
Hmm.
Oh, cutest puppies you've ever seen. And I actually had someone abandon their 4-week-old puppy with me, and
Oh.
I had to rehome her. And I didn't really know much about that particular breed when I got her, and I just love them. They are just the greatest dogs.
So let me tell you the story about how Nacho came to our house. So we were looking for another Border Collie lab mix, and so we went out there and looked in all the usual places. And we had bought one from a breeder over on the eastern side of the state. They didn't have any, so we found another private party that just happened to have a litter, right? So it was like, awesome, cool. And we were looking for a daughter because we would then have Taco and then Belle, right? So it would be Taco and Belle. But we couldn't find, it was just boys left. So we ended up taking the last boy and brought him home. And I was asking the owner, and I said, what are the mixes, right? Tell me about the mixes. She didn't answer. I'm like in transit. I'm like, I'll already take the last one. I'm gonna. And she said, well, the mom is golden retriever and lab mix, and the dad may have some Great Dane in him.
Lord,
Oh.
oh. So Nacho is not a Chihuahua?
No, he's not. And Taco and Nacho are not
no.
Chihuahuas. They are lab. It's
Really?
it's pretty awesome. And
Oh.
and he's got those big floppy ears and the
Oh.
jowls, and his eyes are amazing, like light brown,
Mm.
and then all black. Oh no, he's got some white patches here and there. So
Beautiful.
he's adorable.
Well,
yeah.
they're the sweetest dogs on
They-
the planet.
They really are. They
are
think they're
sweet.
lap dogs. They think
They
they're
do.
tiny little lap dogs. They want to be right up in your face. It's pretty funny. I love them. So I'm glad we share that passion
Yes.
Yeah.
for Danes. I don't know if I would want a full-on Great Dane because they're
They're
big.
big.
They're big. And I live in a townhome, and I was contemplating keeping her. Apparently, they're really good apartment dogs
Really?
because
Yeah.
they like to lay around, and you're supposed to not let
Oh.
them, run a whole lot.
Yeah.
But I was very inclined to keep her, but
Mm.
I just couldn't because I was leaving for Christmas for 2 weeks. I had to get her.
What's your coverage area?
So the greater Seattle area and the east side.
Okay.
I do have a couple of clients in Tacoma, believe it or not.
Oh wow.
And I do have a couple clients in Gold Bar. Don't ask.
Well, and I mean, I guess since you're doing the house sitting and it's vacation time, it's not all at the same time. But I guess
Yeah.
if you were going to have to walk the dog in Tacoma and the one in Gold Bar, that might in one day. That
Yeah,
might
that
be
might
hard
be
though,
difficult. It's
yeah.
actually happened before.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and
but
that's
I've-
and you made it work happen.
I absolutely did.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So how can people find you?
So www.houseandhoundinc.com. Also at House and Hound Inc. on Facebook. And my phone number, of course, is 206-930-3874. You can always contact me that way.
Say
And
that
you-
again.
206-930-3874. And also, you can contact me online or any way that you wish to. Amy at houseandhoundinc.com. That's my email. Amy at houseandhoundinc.com. And that would go right to me. And then, of course, I do have, people helping me and a team of people as well. So.
Perfect.
Well, Amy, great job. I called Amy on Monday, and so she had a real short runway. And I just thank you so much for at last minute coming in
Of course.
and sharing your passion. John, thank you as well. You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan at 1150 KKNW. And after the break, we'll have some more Real Talk. And, of course, Brian will have some great final thoughts.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact. Homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate Team has been helping many first-time homebuyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate Team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093 or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Wherever you go, Alternative Talk 1150 is here for you.
All right, welcome back to Real Talk with Brian and Dan. I am Dan.
And I'm Brian.
Well, that was fun, and during the break, I showed pictures of Nacho, and if you want to, we'll go ahead and post them to our Instagram. Oh, by the way, do you guys have Instagram accounts? Okay, why don't you tell the listeners what they are real quick? So, John, go ahead.
It's at DogSmart Seattle.
At
All one
DogSmart
word.
Seattle. Yep. Okay. Amy Jean.
And you're funny. It's at House and Hound. Let's see. This is the funny part is I am a terrible Instagrammer. At House and Hound. Let's see. You put me on the spot this time.
I know. Sorry about
House
that.
and Hound. No, House and Hound Inc.
House and Hound. So it's at House and Hound INC.
Yeah, HOUSEAND
Awesome. So you guys can go. All listeners can check out the fun pictures. I'll send and tag a picture of Nacho and Taco in there so everybody can see the
There you go.
fantastic dogs. So final thoughts, Brian.
So, Amy, did you hear about the lawyer that got their real estate license?
I smell a joke.
Yes, you do. It's so they could kill their own deals. No, we have terrific lawyers we work with, but
I feel sorry for
there's
them.
always stress on realtors' side sometimes when they jump in the middle, which is fine.
No one likes
Clients
that.
should always consult a lawyer when they feel they should.
So Brian, I heard on the radio this morning, I think it was, they talked. There are always news organizations that will produce housing reports, and I think it's important to discuss them because of what they mean. But they were talking about new construction starts and permits.
Right. Okay.
And what they said is new housing starts were down.
Interesting.
But permits were up.
Well, that means there'll be more new housing starts.
Right.
Because permits aren't free. They're buying those.
And new housing starts down. It kind of makes sense, right? Because if you think about the timing of the market, maybe they're deciding not to do a bunch of building in the wintertime.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, in certain areas, because these are national numbers.
Yeah.
The other one, I think you sent me an article about Fannie Mae's projections.
Okay.
Did you read it?
Probably. I don't recall which article you're talking about. I read
yesterday. Okay, it was talking about what's coming up with rates and the pace.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't read it
Pretty
either.
stable.
I just read the headline.
No, they're talking about, nobody's got a crystal ball, but rates being fairly stable. So it is a good time to get out there and find that dream home.
It's predicting a pretty busy season.
Right.
Yeah. So, so after after kind of looking over some of the numbers and talking about renting versus owning, I think it's important to kind of just say at the end of the day, it's about community, right?
Right.
So you're picking out a home. Is it a good investment? Are you picking out a place to live? Yes, you are. But what you are picking is the community and getting out and visiting the community, trying out, find out what the local schools are like, find out what the local, arterial get-arounds are. How do you get from one place to another? I've got some clients that we've gone and looked at houses together. That's what we do. But also they've done a whole ton of driving, and they were like, "Hey, we just want to really drive around. We want to get a feel for Fall City or North Bend or Snoqualmie and all these areas. You just really have to get comfortable with it." What are some of your best tricks for people to get comfortable with a neighborhood?
Well, I always tell people, drive before you buy. Drive it at the time you think would be your commute time. But also, we have tools. I can tell you what the drive times are from any point, anywhere, anytime, using some of the online tools that we have through Northwest Multiple Listing Service. I don't know if you've used the INRIX feature, Dan?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, pretty cool. But I have clients, I mentioned this in a previous show, looking for homes differently than they used to. It used to be people would pick a neighborhood, and now I have, this is especially with my millennials, saying, hey, I want to be within 40 minutes of Amazon. And so I can map that and show you what neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's not as circuitous as you might think. It's more polygon. It's kind of going all over the place. It may take you longer to get to a backside. But also finding parks,
Finding,
right?
yeah.
Where are you going to walk your dog?
I've had clients that have mapped every Starbucks
Really?
to know how far. Oh, and Trader Joe's. I'm not buying that there, but it's too far to Trader Joe's.
Too far to Trader
there you
Joe's.
go.
No.
You buy what gives you joy.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, let's see. So coming up, we have this next week in Alki. So Alki is West Seattle, yeah, right?
Right.
So Alki has an arts fair going from July 27th to 28th. You don't want to miss out on this. It's an arts fair music festival, colorful views while strolling the promenade as you eat and shop. Oops, I missed my page. Eat and shop amongst the expansive lineup of artists, makers, and performers. Celebrate vibrancy and the diversity of West Seattle local arts and culture. There's going to be over 100 artists and makers, live music, street food, interactive, kids zone, and if you ever want to have fun, it's a good place to kayak.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
off the
And Beachcomb,
there.
hit the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And watch
So-
your dogs.
And
Watch for dogs,
There you
scuba
go.
dive. You can scuba
Yeah.
dive there off
There you go.
Alki. Yeah.
So I ran across an interesting home this week. It's in Bothell. It's a mid-century modern on a lot about 3 times bigger than anything else in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And so if anybody looking for something, there's a real, it's interesting to me, a following for, I'd assume
Mid-century
people would
moderns.
step in and remodel. A lot of people don't. They love that. They love that. It's like, got
So
one.
what defines a mid-century modern?
It's not updated. 1950s home that's not updated. But it looks like, it's like a gem. It looks like, you could film a Brady Bunch there or something like that.
Does it have like those pea green colors and
Yeah,
the chocolate
yeah.
brown and the orange,
Oh,
and like the
gosh,
burnt
yeah.
orange and stuff?
They
Aren't
got
those coming back into
pink-
style?
Pink
I think they are. Actually.
bathtub and the whole 9 yards. So I've got to do a quick shout out. I got the grandkids in town this week. So Quinn and Jonah, if you're listening, love you guys.
Yeah. Right
I
on.
missed that.
Yeah, I got to see him this weekend, and when
Yeah,
we
they're
were
wearing
celebrating
me out.
Brian's birthday.
Yep, that was
Yeah.
fun.
Happy birthday, Brian.
29 again?
Yeah, 29 again.
right?
Yeah, we had a pig
Yeah.
roast and all our friends over. It was
Yeah.
it was fun.
It was a good
It was a lot
time.
of fun.
Well, that concludes our show. I just, again, want to thank both John and Amy Jean. Sorry.
Amy Jean Gilchrist,
Thanks, Mom.
Gilchrist, yeah. I
you're
just
not in
love-
trouble this time.
Thanks for coming in. We appreciate your input. We appreciate bringing you to the community, and we want to thank everybody out there listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan. We'll talk to you next week.
Next week.